So everybody's been hitting me up on Twitter talking about how PlayStation Japan announced this play thing focusing on Resident Evil Village and Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade with Yoshinori Kitase playing parts of Intergrade, and then you've got Satao Morisama playing parts of Resident Evil Village. I think that's all good, but as far as what they're going to show, I don't want to see him playing too much of it, honestly, unless they're going to show us some kind of new thing or explain how those new battle mechanics work. That's one thing they could do. I don't want to see anything from Resident Evil Village. I just want to experience it. I don't want to see anything else. I've seen plenty. Spoilers are out there. I don't want to see anything else about it. Now, I will say, as far as talking about Intergrade, I think it's cool what they're doing. I've seen a lot of people talking to me and having conversations with me that, the Yuffie stuff, they're already changing this because that didn't happen in the original. I want to address that real quick. We don't know. Well, as far as them, if they save Biggs and Jesse, as far as that goes, we don't know, right? We don't know. That didn't happen. Biggs and Jesse and Wedge, I'm confident died in the original. I'm confident they're dead. Square Enix could say something like, well, they really never died. We just didn't get to put it into the game. This is actually what happened. I'm going to call BS on that. As far as I feel, they died. And all three of them died in the original. But as far as the Yuffie Sonin thing, we don't know that Yuffie wasn't in Midgar and all that kind of stuff. We just run into her in the woods when you get past the Mithril Caves after you get through the Midgar Zolom Swamp. That's the first time we see her. We don't know what the hell she was doing before that. We know she was pillaging people's materia in the woods. That could still be how the party meets Yuffie in Remake. All we know for sure is that she is a spy, ninja, covert ops agent for the new Wutai government in Remake because things have changed. Wutai is going to be vastly different, right? But she could have been there the whole time in the original, watching everybody from the shadows or whatever. We don't know. I mean, that's one of those things you can speculate on. Nobody's right and nobody's wrong. The only people that will really ever know are the people that wrote the story, right? So I think it's fascinating what they're doing with the Intergrade stuff, showing her kind of in the background, but not being a part of, not interacting with the main party in the story. I think it's great. And I think it's something they might consider doing with the other characters too, a way to show play backstory for these characters. So obviously, Reeve's story. So you don't need anything with Kate Shee because that's Reeve. We know what Reeve's got going on, right? We could get something with Red 13 when they figure out his gameplay mechanics, how it's going to work and everything. We could get a DLC playing as Red 13. How did he get caught by Shinra? How did he get captured? That kind of thing. We could get Sid Highwind in his days with Shinra Aeronautics or whatever it was, the aviation program at Shinra, whatever, the aeronautics space exploration program at Shinra, what led to the development of Rocket Town, and it could have been set 15, 20 years in the past or something. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I think it's fun to think about possibly playing a Vincent backstory, because Yoshinori Kitase said vaguely in an interview before Remake came out that he sees himself spending the rest of his career working on Remake. Now, is that completing the game, or is that the game plus all this other story stuff they want to tell through a game? I think honestly it would be cool to play as a Turks version of Vincent back in the day before the current regime of the Turks, dealing with young Hojo and Professor Gast and Lucretia and a younger, honestly, more openly violent Shinra, what it was like in an organization that was openly cutthroat like they were back when he was a Shinra dog with the Turks, So it's the possibilities are endless. I kind of like what they're doing now. I don't want to pay $20 for a DLC every time they drop a character DLC. I don't want them to drop DLC for this game, and that's how they build it. I want them to be complete games as they come out. Full 35 to 40 hour experiences, playing through them. If they want to drop cheap DLC, like, you know, if they wanted like $5 to $10, I would pay $10 for a 2 to 3 chapter DLC, backstories for each character. I would pay and play that, right? Because that's extra. You don't have to have it. You don't have to have it. But if you want it, it's there to buy. I'm fine with that. $20? Nope. That's a hard no, because we're already going to be paying, if these are going to be developed exclusively on PlayStation 5 going forward, you know, everybody's going to want to get the PS5 version of the games. I think that you're going to be paying $70, right? Every time one of the games comes out, and I'm going to buy it. I know many of you all are going to buy it, but $20 on top of those for a DLC, nah, man. So if they want to go forward with doing like character backstories like they're doing with Yuffie and Intergrade, I'm for that, but they can't be $20. You know, I mean, depending on how long they are. Now, if they put out like a Dirge of Cerberus size game for like a Vincent backstory, I'll, you know, or maybe a little bit half of that, because that was a full AAA title when it came out. If I get 10 hours out of it, I'll give you $20. But here's also the thing: it's like it's 10 dead hours. It's 10 dead hours because that stuff isn't going to carry over into your next game. Like DLC stuff, if you're playing backstories, and I bring this up because many of you all have been talking with me about it. If you're playing backstories, that's those stats and everything you do in that game is not going to translate and carry over to the next game. You're just going to see the story, and that'll be cool. You'll get to see the story, but as far as like, you know, carrying anything over to the game or helping you, souping you up for the game or anything, none of that will be happening. It'll just help you understand what they're doing with the narrative a bit more. So that's why I say you can't really charge $20 for those, because you're not going to really get anything that carries over. So, but the idea that they may possibly use DLC content to tell the backstories for these characters, I think that's cool, you know, because A, it makes it optional, right? If you want to play it, you can, you don't have to, but if you want to, it's there, and it can be developed separately from the main game, and it makes the main games come out quicker. Because if they want to tell everybody's backstory, if they want to get you invested in the characters in that way, and they try and shoehorn it into the story, it could make the story feel disjointed, especially if you don't care about that character very much, and it's going to make development take that much longer. So I'm honestly fine with them doing character backgrounds as DLC, kind of like they're doing with Yuffie in this. And like I said earlier, we don't know anything about Yuffie truly from the OG game, except from the moment we meet her in the woods. We know she's jumping people from materia. That's it. We don't know anything about her truthfully before that, except for what little bit you get about her from Godo and Wutai. That's it. So, as far as like in OG Remake, Yuffie could have been running around in Midgar while you're bombing reactors. Totally could have happened. Totally could have been happening. Like I said, the only people that know for sure whether it did or did not go down like that are the people that wrote the story. So, if I ever get my sit down with Nojima, I will ask him for all of you. But I want to leave you all with that today. It's something cool to think about. I really have always wanted to see the Vincent backstory. Like you get snippets of it in Dirge of Cerberus, which is why I wanted to play Dirge of Cerberus when it came out. But I want like I would love to play just a true Turks game with Vincent. Everything leading up to how it happened. You know, it's kind of like I want to play Vincent's Crisis Core. I want to play Vincent's Crisis Core. That's what I want. I think we're going to get the Sephiroth backstory and the Ever Crisis. However, if it's going to be a different type of First Soldier part of Ever Crisis, or if it's going to be something different, I think we're getting that. So the only other thing I want now on my wish list of things I would want to get for this franchise is the Vincent Valentine backstory. And I really hope, since they are fusing everything together, that we get the resolution for Vincent and Lucretia and they can maybe get their happily ever after in some way, you know, at the end of the game. And, you know, that could tie in with this whole Sephiroth redemption thing is picking up steam in the community. Like, and I don't know if it has any foundation. I, for one, you all know where I stand on it. He's the bad guy. He is the bad guy. He does not need to be redeemed. But if they go that route and it's a good story, I'm down with it. But it's got to be good. It's got to be good. Like everything else, you all know I will call it. I will call bullshit if they drop some weak shit on us. I thought Remake Game 1 was great. I can't wait to see what they give us with Intergrade, and I'm here for all of it. And if it's not good, I'm going to be honest with you all. It'll piss you all off. But if it ain't good, I'm going to tell you. But if it's great, I'm going to tell you it's great too. So you can't make everybody happy. People that want you to hate the game, they get mad that you love it. People that want you to love the game so much, they get mad that you don't like it. So all I can do is promise you all that I will always be honest with you. I'm not going to give you garbage content, and I'm always going to be honest with you. So you all can take that to the bank. So on that note, you all have a great day. Be good out there, be safe, be good to each other, and I will see you all in the next video. Keep rocking. Have a great weekend, and I will drop some more content on you all very soon.